our top story this morning, the president at the border. He's going to be in Brownsville later today. This is his second trip to the border as president.
Meantime, his Republican rival and the presumptive nominee for the 2024 Republican election, Donald Trump's going to be in Eagle Pass. KENS 5 Mike Jimenez is in Brownsville with what we can expect.
President Biden is expected to be here in Brownsville this afternoon, where he will meet with Border Patrol agents. Now, according to the White House press secretary, Biden will meet with border agents and discuss the need for bipartisan legislation, stating, quote, he wants to make sure he puts his message out there to the American people, end quote. This is Biden's second trip to the Texas-Mexico border as president after visiting El Paso last year. The visit comes after a bipartisan bill was defeated in the U.S. House after former President Trump came out against it. The bill would have tightened asylum restrictions, funded border agents, and other homeland security authorities. This afternoon, former president will be visiting Eagle Pass as part of his presidential campaign. Both visits are highlighting the growing importance of border issues in the 2024 presidential election. And San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg will also be making his way down here to Brownsville to meet with President Biden. And of course, we will have complete coverage on air and online today. Mike Jimenez, KENS 5.
All right, Mike, thank you. And of course, within just the last hour, the White House shared more details on the president's push to pass the bipartisan border deal.
Yeah, it's a $20 billion proposal, lays out what the Biden administration says will pay for significant policy change and critical resources at the border. KENS 5 Sarah Duran joins us now with a look at that deal. And it's no different from what he proposed before, is it?
Right, Barry. This is going to be the same border deal congressional Republicans turned down earlier this month. However, President Biden is making another attempt to discuss the need for bipartisan legislation. Today, he will be meeting with border agents in Brownsville to put his plan out there. So let's take a look at it. Let's break it down for you guys. According to White House officials, the agreement included more than $20 billion for border security. Lots of money there. All that money would go to adding more Border Patrol agents and asylum officers along the Texas-Mexico border. It would also go to detention facilities. They would be getting an upgrade going from 40,000 beds to 50,000 beds to address overcrowding. Also included funds for additional immigration judges to tackle a major backlog of asylum cases, and money to combat the fentanyl crisis with the addition of inspection machines at all ports of entry. Lastly, the bill proposes $1.4 billion to cities and states providing services to migrants. Now, according to the Associated Press this morning, the failure of this border bill has caused the Homeland Security Department to shift money and cut back on resources. So with that in mind, Barry and Sarah, the president is expected to reiterate his calls for urgent funding at our border. In the studio, Sarah Duran, KENS 5.
All right, Sarah Duran, thank you so much. And of course, we're continuing to monitor the situation closely. We have KENS 5 crews on the border now. We just heard from Mike Jimenez, who's out there. And also, we're going to have team coverage all day from both border communities on air and on KENS5.com.